I visited Bhutan, famously called the land of happiness and the land of Rinpoche in the year 2019 with a small group of like minded, fun loving friends. I was super excited and thrilled as it was my first trip abroad with friends. Not only that, I had read a lot about the mesmerizing beauty of Bhutan with its lush greenery, lofty mountains, cool water bodies, spectacular monasteries, and its simple, friendly, loving people. In this video, I am sharing my reminiscences of my enjoyable trip to Bhutan with a few pictures and videos. Hope you will all love it. If you enjoy this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel Sudha Vinyillam. Paro International Airport is the sole international airport of the 4 airports in Bhutan. It is 6 kilometers from Paro in a deep valley on the bank of the river Paro Chu. The International Airport of Bhutan is among the 10 most stunning and beautiful airports in the world. Located in a vibrant green valley with stunning blue sky above and high mountains around the Paro Valley makes it an enchanting picture. The first thing on our to-do list soon after we landed in Paro was to feed ourselves, as we felt totally emaciated. And the first dish we tasted in Bhutan was Ima Dashi, an extremely spicy delicacy of Bhutan cuisine, also known as their national dish. This dish comprises of chili, pepper and cheese. Ima meaning chili and Dashi cheese. From there we drove to our accommodation, which was a cozy, comfortable place. This is the facade of the hotel we stayed at Paro. That evening, we set out on a tour of Paro on foot on our own. It was both surprising and very impressive to observe that there were literally no signal lights, just a few traffic cops here and there. But yet the people on foot and those in vehicles were highly disciplined. The pedestrians never crossed the roads anywhere except at the zebra crossings, and those driving vehicles were never rash. As we observed the buildings in Bhutan, we realized that these structures are often made from wooden frames, earthen material. To keep the ancient style of architecture of Bhutan intact, it is made necessary for the architects to design all the buildings with slanted roofs, small windows, and colorful wooden doors. This unity in construction method and design gives the cities of Bhutan a scenic view, just like the glorious landscape. Our first day in Bhutan and Paro came to an end by taking a stroll through the marketplace of Paro and buying a few things which were very beautiful and so very special of Bhutan. We were extremely excited to be dressed in the traditional dress called kira bought from the marketplace the previous day. Women wear kira and men wear go. Bhutanese give utmost importance to their culture and tradition. During our entire stay for a week in Bhutan, we didn't get a glimpse of a single person in any other attire other than the traditional dress. Day 2 of our stay in Bhutan, that is Paro, started with a visit to the local monastery. We were fascinated seeing the prayer wheel here. Let me explain a bit about the prayer wheel. A prayer wheel is a cylindrical wheel on a spindle made from metal, wood, stone, leather, or coarse cotton. Traditionally, a mantra is written in Tibetan language on the outside of the wheel. The mantra Om Mani Padme Hum is most commonly used, but other mantras can also be written. From the local monastery in Paro, we set off to Thimphu. En route, our first destination was the largest Buddha statue. The Buddha Dodonma is located atop a hill and overlooks the southern entrance to Thimphu Valley. This massive statue is said to emanate an aura of peace and happiness to the entire world. The statue is made up of bronze and is gilded in gold. Thousands of small Buddha statues are placed within the Buddha Dodonma. Each of those thousands of Buddhas have also been cast in bronze and gold. The throne that the Buddha Dodonma sits upon is a large meditation hill. The next tourist attraction that we visited was the Dochula Pass. This is a mountain pass situated on the road from Thimphu to Punakha, where 108 stupas have been built by the eldest Queen Mother. It is at an elevation where you get to see the stunning view of Himalayan mountain range, for which it is most popularly visited by the tourists. It's a wonderful sight to visit and take pictures. If you're lucky with the clear weather, you can sneak peek on the Himalayan mountains. We reached Thimphu in the evening and stayed at a comfortable hotel with a stunning stream running right in front of it. At Punakha, we took a hike to the Fertility Temple or the Temple of the Divine Madman. This temple, Chim Lakang, is located on a small hillock hardly 15 kilometers from Punakha. This is a very pleasant hike with nature in abundance all through it. We saw different varieties of plants with colorful, attractive blooms and also apple plants in full bloom. Midway through the hike, we came across a tiny little monastery from which the view was breathtakingly beautiful. There is a huge prayer wheel in the monastery, but what captured our attention was murals and graffiti on the walls with giant phalluses. Kids were playing and life seemed to go on in the most normal manner possible. For a moment, it felt awkward, but because the incidence of the murals was on almost every wall, it became fun to look at. There were doors with phalluses on both sides, and then there were shops with wooden imitations of the male sexual organ. The fact that this is an object of worship for Bhutanese gradually transformed from fun to fascination for us. This Zong, meaning fort in Punakha, is an absolutely spectacular destination in Bhutan which no tourist can afford to miss. The Punakha Zong is also known as a Palace of Great Happiness or Bliss, is the administrative center of the Punakha district in Bhutan. It is the second oldest and second largest Zong in Bhutan and one of its most majestic structures. All the royal weddings and auspicious functions of the royal family still happen here. The Zong houses the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. Our next place of visit in Punakha was the Punakha Zong Suspension Bridge. This bridge is an important part of the architectural history of Bhutan as it was built to connect the villages surrounding the palace of Wangchuk kings to the palace. This hanging bridge is draped with prayer flags all along and provides a perfect spot for bird watching and nature photography, not to mention the panic attack it gives to a few as it sways a bit due to the strong winds from the flowing river beneath. The National Folk Heritage Museum in Thimphu gives a peek into the life of Bhutanese in rural areas. This place exhibits excellent items and artifacts used in rural households, demonstration of rural customs, traditions, habits, and skills. Here you can see the ingredients of food being dried up for use in winter when the weather becomes unbearably cold. You can see the girls of the rural region enjoying their routine of pounding wheat, singing their folklore in high, shrilling, flawless voices. Come, let's join them. The restaurant here serves typical Bhutanese wine and butter tea. It's worth a visit. From Thimphu, we travel back to Paro, and the penultimate day of our stay in Bhutan proved to be the highlight of the entire trip. Yes, We trekked to the Tiger's Nest Monastery in Paro, which is supposed to be the most daunting trek in the world. It looked like one of the places that came straight from a fantasy novel. Sitting precariously 3000 meters above the Paro Valley, the Paro Taxan Monastery or the Tiger's Nest Monastery is built on the site of a cave set into the cliff. We hired walking sticks at the entrance, without which trekking on this acutely steep mountain is almost impossible. Though the locals keep mules and horses, which we can hire to carry us upwards on the path, we decided to trek up to challenge our fitness quotients and to feel the adrenaline rush. The ground sloped upwards and started to get more vertical. We were officially beginning our ascent. The tricky part of the trek is a fag end where you encounter steep steps which drop down and rise up alternatively. The steps seemed to get steeper as they went on, and then we heaved a sigh of relief when we realized that we have finally and suddenly reached our destination, the Tiger's Nest Monastery. It's all worth it when you descend down to the base and give yourself a pat on the back with a sense of accomplishment, looking up at the peak and realizing what a daunting task we have just endured successfully. It was time to say goodbye to the land of happiness and adventure. We bid adieu with all the lovely memories of Bhutan and fun moments with friends etched in our minds and hearts. Hope each one of you traveled with me virtually to Bhutan through this video. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel Sudhavin Illam. Stay tuned to many such vlogs and interesting recipes. Bye till we meet again.